Good evening. I'm Jessica Moore. The former president left his Bedminster home and is expected to arrive in Wisconsin shortly. He said he would not let the shooting delay his trip to the RNC. Here's the latest on the investigation at this hour. FBI officials say the gunman had explosives in his home and in his vehicle. The FBI and Secret Service are still working to determine a motive for the attack. President Biden has ordered an independent review of the security at yesterday's rally, and tonight he will address the nation from the Oval Office. Here's a live look now at the Fiserv Forum Arena in Milwaukee, where former President Trump will arrive tonight for the Republican National Convention. This afternoon, the Secret Service said it is confident in the RNC's current security plan and will make no changes. The gunman has been identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks from a town just 1 hour south of the rally's location. Crooks shot and killed a bystander in the crowd at yesterday's rally who was a former fire chief. We have live team coverage tonight, beginning with CBS 2's Meg Oliver. She's live from Sarver, Pennsylvania at the Butler Township Fire Department. Meg.
Jessica, good evening. The FBI says they believe Crooks acted alone and he was not on the Bureau's radar. Federal agents were spotted in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, where the gunman, Thomas Crooks, lived.
They asked us to leave our house. They told us it was a state of emergency. No warning. They just knocked on the door in the middle of the night.
Take a look at what happened.
Sources say the firearm the 20-year-old used in the assassination attempt was legally purchased by and registered to the shooter's father. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News bystanders spotted Crooks shortly before the shooting and reported his presence to law enforcement. Officials momentarily lost track of the gunman minutes before he opened fire at the Trump rally, firing 6 to 8 rounds from an AR-style weapon approximately 400 feet from the podium.
We have to remember that even in these times where there are real divisions, that we have to address those divisions through engagement in the political and civic process in a peaceful manner.
Suspicious devices were also found in the gunman's vehicle, and a device that appeared capable of triggering the devices was found in the gunman's possession.
This is not some game. This is not politics. A real human being lost their life.
Officials want to know how Crooks was able to get so close to President Trump.
I'm the RNC coordinator, so I can only speak to the National Special Security event. The plans that we have in place will continue as is, and we're confident in those plans.
Crooks' political leanings are unclear. Records show he was registered as a Republican voter in Pennsylvania, but previously made a $15 donation to a Democratic-aligned group. As far as the victims here at the Buffalo Township Fire Department, they're mourning one of their own. 50-year-old Corey Comparatori died during the rally trying to shield his family from the gunfire. He was married to his high school sweetheart and they had 2 daughters. His wife Helen paid tribute to him in a private Facebook post saying he died the hero he always was. He'd have it no other way. The other 2 victims remain hospitalized in stable condition. Jessica.
All right, Meg, thank you. The heartbreaking accounts of him shielding his young daughters from those bullets. He definitely died a hero. Thank you, Meg. Just a short time ago, former President Trump left New Jersey, heading to Milwaukee ahead of the Republican National Convention, which starts tomorrow. He took off from Newark Airport. That's where we find CBS 2's Derick Waller live tonight with more. Derick.
And Jessica, we're standing just off of airport grounds. You can see the tarmac far in the distance behind me. The former president's plane departed for Milwaukee just before 5 o'clock this afternoon. And actually, we can show you some video. And you can look closely at your screen, and you can actually make out a man in a white shirt there with blonde hair making his way up the stairs. Now, moments later, Newark's airport camera caught Trump's Boeing 757 taxiing as it prepared to take off. The former president posting on his social media site that he was planning to delay his trip to the RNC, but, quote, decided that I cannot allow a shooter or potential assassin to force a schedule change. In Milwaukee, security preps have been underway for 18 months with tall metal barricades going up downtown and nuclear security helicopters tracing a grid over the city. But on the ground, immediately outside the secure perimeter, cops have to deal with the fact that Wisconsin is an open carry state.
And so that is a, again, issue that we have to navigate. And I will say this, and I've said this many times, as that is your right, please exercise your right in a responsible manner.
And we actually do have some local Republicans who are also on their way to Milwaukee because they're serving as delegates. That includes Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. We spoke with him earlier today. Listen to this.
Donald Trump will fight on, and he will be at the convention this week. I will be with him at the convention, and I think it's going to be a very, very different type of convention, one that's both reflective and also one where there's a tremendous amount of excitement.
And moments ago, Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump, actually posted online that they've made touchdown in Milwaukee. As you can see behind me, there's not a lot going on here because the president's plane left a couple of hours ago. So any of those road closures that were in effect a while ago, those roads are now back open. Reporting live here at Newark Liberty International Airport, Derick, CBS 2 News.
All right, Derick, thank you. Before leaving New Jersey, the former president spent much of the day in Bedminster, where local residents are reacting to yesterday's assassination attempt. They spoke with CBS 2's Kristie Keleshian.
A caravan of at least a dozen vehicles en route to Newark Airport made its way down Lamington Road out of the Trump National Golf Club. 3 miles down the opposite direction of Lamington Road, supporters for the former president gathering on the corner where they often stand to wave their flags and banners. But Sunday's gathering had a different tone.
We're just supporting somebody that was almost killed.
Carla says she cried when she heard about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump during his campaign rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. After driving past the Trump supporters, she decided to join them.
It's kind of helpful. It's almost like going to church and saying a prayer for Trump. It makes you feel better about something really, really awful.
Trump's Bedminster Golf Club was closed for the day. Its front gates were guarded by local police. Andrew Giuliani, a former Trump aide, and the son of former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani also arrived to Bedminster Sunday.
Americans deserve answers, clear, honest answers.
Giuliani is calling for transparency from the Secret Service on why it didn't take down the gunman sooner, after witnesses say they alerted authorities about seeing the shooter atop a nearby building.
The fact that you could have somebody that got within 125 meters of President Trump is a catastrophic failure that we now have lost a life.
Those we spoke with in Bedminster near the golf club Sunday are hoping for an election season free of violence.
I think if anything, his protection's going to get ramped up and, there's just going to be even that much more security around him.
We need to be more respectful, get back to being kind and decent, and that's my hope for this election.
Throughout the day, we saw crowds come and go here in Bedminster, but that has since quieted down now that the former president has left New Jersey. In Bedminster, Kristie Keleshian, CBS 2 News.
And former First Lady Melania Trump issued a statement today saying in part, quote, "When I watched that violent bullet strike my husband Donald, I realized my life and Barron's life were on the brink of devastating change. I am grateful to the brave Secret Service agents and law enforcement officials who risked their own lives to protect my husband." Here in the city, supporters gathered outside Trump Tower on 5th Avenue today. Others drove around waving giant flags, honking horns and cheering. New Yorkers and tourists alike condemned the shooting.
I think it's a terrible thing that happened. I don't think that you resolve anything with violence.
We need to unify. We need to come together. Despite our differences, put them aside.
And tonight, city and interfaith leaders are also uniting to denounce the attack on the former president. They say the hateful rhetoric must stop. CBS 2's Naveen Dhaliwal is live down at City Hall with the latest. Naveen.
Yeah, Jess, the message from City Hall is crystal clear. They say there's no room for hate and there's no room for political violence. And today, the mayor, along with interfaith leaders and city leaders, stood shoulder to shoulder, despite their political differences, to say that bullets don't settle differences. They say in the city of New York, that is Donald Trump's former hometown, they're not condoning the assassination attempt on the former president, even touching on the issue of gun violence in the city and the country. They say the toxic political rhetoric is at dangerous levels, and it's time to restore civility and respect for our differences.
Inches away from the former president losing his life, it's unimaginable that his children would have to experience that, his wife. To watch that in horror, to see the history of what bullets have done, how it has reshaped our past, and it could reshape our future.
I support Donald Trump. It's more difficult for other people to do that. So I commend anyone who's willing to come out and say enough's enough. The rhetoric has got to cool.
And there is increased security at Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue, along with other Trump buildings in the city. And right now, the mayor says there is no credible threat. We're live at City Hall. Naveen Dhaliwal, CBS 2 News.
Naveen, thank you. The attempt on Trump's life is also drawing reaction from leaders around the globe. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee is in London tonight with a look at the response from allies and rivals.
Well, Donald Trump has survived an assassination attempt.
The assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump shocked the world. Reactions came pouring in.
This was an attack on America. It was an attack on democracy.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called the attack an appalling crime. On social media, many allies sent their best wishes for a speedy recovery, including leaders of the UK, France, Canada, and Japan. Around the world, politicians have increasingly found themselves in the assassin's crosshairs as extremists look for extreme solutions. In 2022, a gunman shot and killed former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe while he was giving a speech. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico survived an assassination attempt, being shot several times. While President Trump has had a rocky and at times tense relationship with many world leaders, the condemnation of political violence was unanimous, even from America's foes. A spokesman for Xi Jinping said the Chinese leader expressed his sympathies for Trump. And Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov wished Trump a speedy recovery. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.